What do you think the biggest issue is? Is it overprescription from doctors? Is it people in construction not knowing how to balance their meds? Is it a mental health issue on a larger scale? Is it being afraid to open up and, share feelings? What do you think is kind of causing this?
Specifically in construction, I believe the issue is a high rate of injuries. So remember, I'm a risk management and safety professional. I've been doing that for almost 35 years. Musculoskeletal injuries have a high percentage of prescribing for opioids for pain management. So this is a complex issue, but I would say the data supports this. In the U.S., there's a group called the CPWR. It's formerly known as the Center to Protect Workers' Rights. It's now known as the Center for Construction Research and Training, but they kept the same acronym, CPWR. The acronym no longer fits, but 34% of construction workers will experience at least one musculoskeletal injury. And the rate of opioid prescribing and use increases as you have multiple sprains and strain injuries. So that's one factor. A second factor is construction compared to all other industries. Again, using U.S. data, 55% of the time, workers in construction were getting an opioid prescription. That was twice any other industry. And another factor, it was demonstrated by a group called the National Council on Compensation Insurance. So they do a lot of rating for the workers' compensation. They found for construction, we had doses that were 20% stronger and durations of prescriptions for construction workers 2 times as long. I'm sorry, 20% longer, not 2 times as long, 20%. So 20% stronger dose, 20% longer duration, 55% of the time, construction workers were getting prescriptions. So here's the problem. Most patients prescribed opioids do not use all pain medication. You would think that would be a good thing. The bad thing is 90% of individuals don't properly dispose of the excess. We store those in a medicine cabinet. We keep them in the pill bottle. We save it for a rainy day so I don't have to go back to the doctor in case it flares up. What if I re-aggravate this injury? Then I'll have some spare pills left over. That's called diversion. And what happens is that's where our teenage, young adults, guests in our homes are absconding, taking those extra pills. And that becomes another leading gateway of new opioid use. So
that hits home with me. I've got some young kids, and I'd be lying if I said I've never kept some pills kind of just in case. So great that we're hearing this as well. Really good reason to dispose properly of these extra pills.
Yeah, and there's simple products that are now available. They're drug deactivation or drug disposal products. Sometimes people will say, well, why can't we just throw them away? Well, if people know you have prescriptions, people will dig through the garbage. If they see a person who's had surgery or using crutches around the neighborhood, it's not been uncommon for their trash to be gone through. Or if you throw it or flush it down a drain, it ends up affecting the fish. Sometimes people said, well, I've buried them in my backyard. There have been examples as well of dogs digging up or other people learning where that stash was hidden. So these drug deactivation products are really effective at eliminating that problem so you can safely and environmentally safely dispose of that product. They're becoming readily available and fairly inexpensive. It's something I'm seeing employers really start to embrace. To say, hey, when we do a toolbox talk about opioid risk reduction, we're going to give you one of these drug deactivation products. Go home, search your house, look for excess, and then use the product that we've given you. I've seen some companies start to keep score. How many total pills did we discover and destroy? In construction, we like to make things a competition. There's always a little game element. Not
That's
saying that there's
great.
going to be the opioid Olympics for pill destruction, but it's one way to get people's attention that you can make a big difference with a simple campaign.